Welcome to the Back 9 Six-Pack with Mitch and Justin. Let's roll.
Hello and welcome to episode 37 of the Back 9 Six-Pack. My name is Mitch, joined as always by my esteemed colleague Justin. If you're listening to this now, hopefully if you've celebrated, I hope you had a Merry Christmas. And now welcome to 2024.
Yeah, we're here.
This is like from the past, I guess? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
What's this year's New Year's animal for the Chinese?
I have no idea what the Chinese New Year
Year
is.
of the Tiger.
Is it?
I don't know. I'm just thinking it up.
Well, anyway, Happy New Year if you're listening. Look, we're going to do a whole podcast dedicated to this coming out, what will be next week. What if you just top high level, what's your 2024 golf goal? The number one on the list.
I mean, I think for me would be to win a match play match in our Cincinnati Met.
I love that goal, especially the way things went down this year.
Yeah, felt like we're right on the doorstep playing some good golf. Things just got away from us this year during that match, but that's at the top of my wish list.
On the plus side, it might have given us like our best piece of content from the year.
Oh, by far.
That was an epic reel.
The absolute best, to the Titanic music.
Yeah.
The only music that could perfectly encapsulate what actually happened on the golf course that day.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a good goal. I like that. I support that.
Let's hear it.
I think I'm going to run it back on my 2023 goal that was not even close. Handicap is going to start with a 5 this year.
I love it.
But to get there, I'm going to have to set a series of micro goals, which we'll talk about next week when we go through our goals podcast. So, but yeah, we're gonna start with a 5. Even if I get to 5.9, victory. That's all we need.
Perfect.
All right. Well, again, as always, if you've not already, subscribe, rate, and review the show. Super appreciate that. Follow us on social media at Back9Sixpack.
And do it while you're sitting on the couch milking a hangover this morning. You know, if you're listening to this on January 1st, we know you're probably milking a hangover right now.
For sure.
Get on your phone. Don't act like you haven't been on your phone. That's what every hungover person does. And get on there and start subscribing, start rating. You know, leave us a 5-star and talk shit about us. I don't care as long as it's a 5-star.
Justin's got it. That's for sure. All right. Well, hope you enjoyed part 1 of the best of Patio Beers. Here comes part 2. Cheers.
See ya.
Go for it.
This one hits a little close to home. I was just out of town for business. Look, we got a little out over to the skis on Monday night when I was up there. People from my office, you know, one went to college in Fort Wayne. She wanted to go back to one of her college bars, and I was like, not going to miss out. FOMO is a big fear of mine. You know that. I don't like missing out, so I will go to just about everything I can get my hands on. Like, I'm going to be the guy. I don't care if I'm crawling into the bar. Like, I'm going to go. So, leads me to my question. What's the worst decision you can make when you're out of town for like a work trip? Or, yeah, we'll leave it at work trip. And I don't know how much traveling you've done for your job. I don't do a ton of it. I do a little bit of it, but not like a lot of overnight stays, maybe once or twice a year. But what's the worst decision you can make?
Yeah, so I should say I don't have to do much traveling for my job. My previous job, I did a little bit. So I don't have a lot of experience here. I mean, it has to come down to either eating or drinking. Like, you can't get out over your skis, like, especially the first, this goes for any trip, really. The first night, you cannot get out over your skis.
I guess it depends on how many days you're gone for, right?
But it's a death sentence. Because then it just is a snowball. You're out of your element. You don't have the comforts you normally would have. All of a sudden, if you need, like, say you need some hydration support or some medicine, or now it's like an extra trip you got to try to make.
And then the hotels you're probably staying in don't just have, like, a mini bar. Like, where you're like, hey, I'm going to grab a Gatorade out of here real quick.
Right. And then, maybe you're sharing a rental car or something, and you don't really have, like, freedom to do what you need to do, that kind of thing. So that's like just an obvious one. You cannot do that. I think for me, it would have to be food choices. You cannot put yourself in a bad spot, especially if you're like all day client meetings, all that stuff.
Or like if you're at a conference, like you're going into like
yes,
sessions,
there's
and
breakout
stuff like
sessions,
that. Yeah.
there's keynote speakers, all this stuff. Like you got to make the most responsible eating choices. You cannot be choosing the Southwest menu item.
Chipotle, God forbid.
Cannot get a Chipotle meal for lunch. You cannot,
like
just douse
chicken
stuff
wings. Like
exactly. There are mistakes that can be made, and it can straight up ruin the trip. And like I said, you don't have, the comfort of being at home. You don't have everything you need readily available to you.
Yeah,
so
you can't just take timeouts and like, all right, I'm going to, do this for 45 minutes or whatever it is. Like there's no way out of it.
No. Yeah.
So I broke mine down a little bit just because I just recently went through this, and I've been on like 4-day trips where I'm like doing a bunch of training. I've been on like, this one was only a couple days. Like it was 1 day. We left Monday morning, stayed Monday night, came home Tuesday. I've made just about every mistake you can make. Maybe not outside the drinking part, right?
Yeah.
I've got out over the skis on the first night, which actually is not the worst choice.
For you.
It's not the worst. This past trip just so happened the first night was the last night. But I've been on trips where it's like first night, second night, okay, like I'm here for 4 days. You start to tone it down at the end because the last thing you want to be in is a car hungover. Like just obliterated. Like 3-hour trip, 4-hour trip, 2-hour trip. The last thing you want to do is be in a car just milking a massive hangover.
Yeah, so I didn't even factor in the fact that you could be driving for a work trip.
Even on an airplane.
Yeah.
Even on an airplane. Airplanes hungover are not fun.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So I thought like drinking the last night that you're there. Because I'll tell you this. On Tuesday, I was hurting all day. All day. I wish I had taken a picture of this just for this moment. I didn't know I was going to ask this question.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting in the row. So we had like the first day we had like a bunch of breakout sessions, which were fine. You got some breaks. Shout out to my company. Did a phenomenal job of snack stations and like drink stations. Like all the liquid IVs, Diet Cokes, coffee, iced coffee. Like they had everything set up. So I see that the first night, I'm like, even if I get in a really bad situation tomorrow, like I'm going to have an out. Like I'm going to have like liquids around. So we have Monday night, get out over the skis, didn't get back to my room till like 2:30. Just brutal. Got to be up at like 7:30. And I think I drink every liquid they had on the table. I had 2 liquid IVs, 3 Diet Cokes, 4 coffees. And I look over at the people in my office. They're sitting in the same row. And the guys, all my dead soldiers are in front of me. I hadn't thrown anything away. I just had liquids upon liquids in front of me, like empty cans, empty water bottles with liquid IV in them. And it was just like, and driving home, like it was the worst. And I got home and I'm like, oh my God, now I got to like take care of kids, like get kids in bed, bath night tonight. Like literally laid them down in bed. I swear to God, I could not have been laying in bed for more than 3 minutes and fell asleep. It was just, the last night is a no-go. If you're on a business trip, you cannot get out over the skis the last night. You just can't do it.
Yeah. I've thought of 2 more since you were talking, by the way.
Food is a good one, though. I never really thought about the food thing, but
also, the other side of that coin, never pass up an opportunity to eat. Because you do not know when the next one's coming.
And
if you're like me, the system needs to be maintained. I need like a solid every 3 hours, something has to be going in. So if you get stuck at a conference, you're in meetings all day or whatever, you don't know when the next meal's coming. You grab that trail mix, that bag of chips, that cookie that came with the thing.
Anything. Eat it all. Yeah. Well,
calories don't count.
The worst part is the first day I made that mistake is, I'm sitting at the table. They gave us like some box lunches or whatever. And I was like, man, it just doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Like I eat like maybe half of it. And I'm like, And then I realized, so we get done 5:00, go to the happy hour. They're like bussing us over. And I'm like, I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so hungry.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like 6 o'clock, and I'm like, I'm not even on the bus to go over there yet. And like, I didn't eat until like 7. I was dying, like literally dying. And like I said, they had snack stations, but I don't know what it was. Like, I don't know if it was like because I was talking to people and this and that. Like, I just never grabbed a snack. That's a good one because I think I went a full 10 hours without eating, which I'm not like, I can skip meals here and there, but when you're talking about like, it'll hit you too. Like, even if you're not thinking about it, it just hits you. And it hit me like 5:30. I'm like, shit, I'm not gonna eat for like another hour and a half. And I was dying at that point. And I already had a couple beers. I'm like, this could get ugly fast.
Right. Yeah. And then so the second one, look, we're both dads and husbands. Err on the side of over communicating with your spouse.
Oh,
You've got
I made so many mistakes on this last.
You've got to err on the side of over communication because whatever you're doing is not enough, especially for the bullets that they're taking back at the homestead with the kids, with the dogs, whatever. Yeah, have to over communicate.
My phone. We started out at one bar after our party. When I went to the second bar, when we were walking out, my phone died.
Okay, charge your phone is now on the list too.
I just made multiple mistakes on this trip, and it was amateur hour. Maybe I'm a little rusty after COVID. You know, I don't know what it is. When we had one last year, but it was in Cincinnati, so I slept in my own bed.
Yeah.
So I'm just a little rusty post COVID. I don't know. I just made a lot of mistakes this time around. Just a ton of mistakes. Actually, you were witness to our last sales meeting. All of us were parked in your parking lot. Remember that?
Yeah, it was a complete shit show.
Yeah. A lot of hungover people walking out. I was not one of them, though, because I was at home. I went home, slept in my own bed, went down the next day. Like, it was all good. But this time around, being out of town, just they let too much leash out for the dog and me.
You tested every inch of the leash.
Yeah, oh God, oh yeah. I was the one like pulling their owner down the street. That's the type of dog I am. So.
Oh my gosh! All right. Oh God, I love this travel topic. I'm throwing out the question that I came in here with because I just, like we talked about, just came off vacation. What is your number one travel tip? Can be like if you're traveling for vacation, if you're traveling for whatever it is, number one travel tip.
Invest in TSA pre-check.
Oh, God. See, I haven't done that yet, but I know that's the move.
I will tell you this. I found that out about 2 years ago when we were going out to Vegas. We weren't running late. It was just like, it was the fact that it was like 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. The last thing you want to do is stand in a line.
Yeah.
Like, you want to get to your gate and just lay there like a vegetable. Like, 2 of the guys we went, Tim, Cody, TSA pre-check, they beat me and Sean to the gate by like almost an hour. And we saw them we went into lines at the same time. Beat us by almost an hour. TSA pre-check, I used to be avidly against them. I ain't paying shit. That's stupid. But like even if you fly twice a year, it's 100% worth it.
Yeah.
Just the anxiety of waiting in line, especially if you're traveling with kids. The anxiety of just like waiting in line, trying to keep them together. Like it's just madness. Like I don't even think it's that expensive. I don't even know what I paid for mine, but it's whatever it was 100% worth it. 100% worth it. Especially if, like, I think we both travel with kids more than not.
Yeah.
Like, if you're traveling with kids, like skipping that line and getting through in the minimal amount of time needed, absolutely necessity. It's you have to have it. That's my big one. If I had to do an honorable mention, don't travel with kids.
Fair.
I've traveled with kids a decent amount since we've had kids. Danielle, on the other hand, has not, but she has since. She was just like, I walked in the airport and she's like, I thought I was forgetting something.
Yeah.
She was like, but then I realized that I didn't have kids with me. So I had like 1/10 of the items that I usually have to carry with me.
You have 2 free hands for once. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's an honorable mention, but The TSA pre-check is an absolutely, like, I used to be avidly against it, but now I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, no, that's a good call. I think mine's probably pretty obvious, but I also feel like for people that do travel maybe once or twice a year, don't check a bag ever.
Yeah.
Like, if it can be avoided, which I think the only case that I would check a bag is if I'm bringing my golf clubs. Do not check a bag, and it will save you 95% of possible issues you can have during air travel.
Yeah, they reel you in with the free bag, though. I will say I'm on the fence about that.
Do not check a bag. I'll take it a step farther. Don't take a carry-on. Fit all of your stuff in your personal item. Jam it on the seat in front of you.
I'm on the fence about that because the first time I went out to Vegas a couple years ago, I didn't check a bag. I'm checking my golf clubs. That's the only thing I'm checking.
Yeah.
And I had a carry on. It was like one of those, I don't know if you've seen like those ones that roll, like the bags that roll out and then they roll back up and you can zip them. So I had one of those and there's plenty of clothes. We were only out there. We got out there Sunday. We're leaving like Wednesday night. So it was plenty of room for what I needed it for. And the golf bag, as you know, like any golfer knows, those golf bags become like a second suitcase. You can just start stuffing stuff in there as long as it stays under 50 pounds. But like I was carrying it through the airport. I'm like, this is a pain in the ass. Like carrying this fucking bag around. And our airport is terrible. Like it's a long walk to the two terminals. I'm like, this is a pain in the ass. I'm like, I'm checking this bitch on the way back. I'm like, I get a free bag too. Like they reel you in though. But I've had horror stories where you check a bag and next thing you know, you're going to Los Angeles and your bag ends up in Seattle. Not good.
Exactly.
And they don't like, you're like, oh, they're going to cover it. It's like, no, you spend all your money and then if they find it, you have to take all those clothes back. They don't reimburse you for those clothes.
Yeah.
It's madness.
Yeah, so that's my tip. I think I would also, what I've come to learn over the years too, is like two things. One, especially with the rise of Airbnb and stuff, you can do laundry. Like you don't have to bring as much stuff. And also, I used to be in this boat. I feel like a lot of people are overpacking of like underwear and socks. Like you can just buy that stuff. You don't know my
track history though.
I do know your track history. But like those items like that, you can just go buy. If you really are in that bad of a spot where you need them, you can go buy them and throw them out if you can't fit them.
It reminds me of a meme I saw on Instagram. This is probably like 6 months ago. It was like, why do I always pack for a trip with the amount of underwear like I'm going to shit my pants 7 times?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you might make the mistake once, but you're not going to make it like a handful of times.
Right.
And if you are, you probably should just be staying in your house or condo or wherever the hell you're staying because you're unwell.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm a habitual overpacker sometimes too.
I used to be. I've weaned myself off big time.
Because I do. I come back, like even the 1 day trip I just took. Like I opened my bag, I'm like, didn't wear this, didn't wear that. I'm
and
like,
then you're like,
oh,
well, now I'm washing it anyway because it's dirty.
I'm like, it was in there with a bunch of dirty clothes.
Yeah.
It's just, that's the worst part is when you take clothes and they're clean and you have to wash them because they're just in a bag with dirty clothes.
So here, this is another one. God, this is great. I keep forgetting to do this, but bringing like one of those like drawstring bags or something for dirty clothes.
Oh, that's a good idea. I never thought about that.
I have yet to actually remember to execute it, but that is
because like you get in wherever you're staying, like they.
Yeah, you don't have a hamper. You're just throwing stuff everywhere.
Yeah, and like garbage bag, maybe. I mean, you don't have like the massive amounts of, plastic bags from grocery shopping at your disposal like you do at your house. That's a good idea.
Just bring like a small like zippable duffel.
That's a really good idea. I never even thought about that.
Chuck all your dirty stuff in that. It's like your hamper for the week, and then boom.
Oh, man, I'm gonna start doing that.
This is now a travel podcast.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, the other one that I was just kind of thinking about, I only travel with my passport now. Like, it just seems easier. Like, then having to, like, rip your wallet out, like, oh, here's my ID. Then you don't put it back in your wallet. Like, it's the passport's like, you hand it to them, boom, right back in your book bag. Never have to get it out again. Like, I feel like the ID and the wallet thing, like, just leaves too much, like, gray area of, like, your wallet falling out. And then, you forget it or, who knows what could happen.
Pre-check could be a totally different game, I'm sure. But, like, regular TSA lines, they're getting better about, like, you don't have to scan like your boarding pass, and like, they just check your ID or whatever and let you through and all that. They scan like the kids ones and stuff, but it's gotten slowly, incrementally better. But I do can we just already we have virtual boarding passes? Can we just get our IDs on our phones already?
That is actually that's a very good point. I mean, I don't know why that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, it's probably a security thing, I'm sure. But
yeah, okay, but like you bank on your phone,
exactly.
You probably have your social security numbers in 9 different spots on your phone, whether you know it or not.
For sure. So what does it matter if your ID's on there? Yeah, I'm just trying. We just need to every little step we can to streamline it. I'm here for.
Look, TSA. I'm available for consulting fees. I'm easily bought. We are easily bought.
Yeah, throw me in here too.
Oh, yeah, those are all pretty good. Traveling, it can be so stressful, especially with kids. Like, I just know, like, the last time we flew with kids, you just have exponentially more stuff. And now my kids are at the age of, like, they're a little bit older. They've got to have their own bag and this and that. And I'm like, it was so much easier when you were small and, like, you didn't even know what a bag was. And I could just, like, fit everything in mine. Yeah. Now it's like, you got 3 tablets you got to take with you and 3 different suitcases they all need and their stuffed animals. And then they want to push it for, like, the first 15 minutes. And then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, this kind of sucks. And I'm like, that's why I don't have a push bag with me. Like, I'm not an idiot. And, it just turns into an absolute mess. So shout out to all the parents out there who have actually traveled with their kids and been that person on an airplane too. We all know what we're talking about, the crying kid. Yeah. But you know what? It is what it is. Like, there's so many noise canceling things right now. Like, throw your headphones in. Like, you think I wanted to do this for 15 hours driving to Florida? No, this is why we're on a fucking plane right now. Yeah. Like, so shout out to all the parents who have ever traveled with kids. It's not easy.
Definite shout out.
The Best of Patio Beers segment episode is brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling, only 96 calories. The official patio beer of the Back 9 6-pack. Now let's get back to the show.
What is the weirdest thing in your fridge right now?
Man, that's a good question. I'm sorry. I'm trying to picture my fridge right now. I was just in it like an hour ago. I would have to say, I know what it is. So, if you've ever been to Costco, you know the taco packages? Yeah. So, like that cilantro lime
We just
sauce?
Had these tonight, literally.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that cilantro lime sauce, really unbelievable.
It's
first
amazing.
of all, if you've never had the taco kit from Costco, it's like the best $10 dinner you'll ever have in your life. But we bought like a 2-pack of it, like just the sauce.
Okay, where'd you find it? We've been looking.
So I went there. This was probably a month and a half ago we found it. Oh. But when we went back like 2 weeks ago, I went there.
Yeah, it doesn't. It comes and goes. Yeah.
I asked the guy, and he's like, yeah, sometimes we have it, sometimes we don't. He's like, we don't know when we're getting the shipment of it. It just kind of comes in.
Gotcha.
But it's like, we love that sauce. That's probably like the most obscure thing in there, just because it's like, if you don't know those taco kits, you'd be like, what in the world is this? Like, you would have almost no idea what it is.
Do they sell the salsa that comes in there?
No, they don't. Because that salsa is pretty good, too.
The salsa it's like the best all-around salsa I've ever had.
Yeah, it's not like too chunky.
You could eat it with chips. It's not like super tomatoey. You can put it on anything you want to put it on.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's great. Yeah, it's
got the perfect amount of heat to it. It's awesome.
Yep, you have that salsa tagged with this lime sauce. I mean, it's lime cilantro sauce. It's so good. Like... Yeah. And I'm trying to think, that's probably the most obscure thing in there. We do right now, I believe, there is one other thing, and it just got put in there, like, on Friday. So Danielle goes down to the Christmas market downtown. There is a chocolate-covered Twinkie in my fridge right now.
Okay, that's random.
She got it for me, and, like, Friday, like, I was beat. I'm going, like, when she got home, like, I was already in bed. She's like, hey, there's a chocolate Twinkie in the fridge when you want it. I still haven't eaten it. It's still in there.
We're going to need a chocolate covered Twinkie review.
Yeah.
You're going to have to record this.
Knowing my kids, it might be gone by now, but you know what? I think if it's still there, I'll do it.
Yeah.
My kids might have got their hands on it.
God,
They're thieves.
I've never even heard of that, but I bet
that
seems
delicious.
really, that's so American.
I bet it's delicious. I bet it's so good. I actually kind of want to go home and eat it now after we're done.
Yeah. Look.
All right. What's in your fridge? Because I have a feeling yours is going to be a little more eccentric than mine.
Yeah. So we've got a 9-month-old in the house. So just look, breast milk aside.
Yeah,
it's going to be there. There's also some prunes in there right now. We'll put those aside too. Probably the weirdest. Look, you know my love of charcuterie boards. I'm a charcuterie artisan. Craft these on my own. Murray's makes a fantastic tangerine chili marinated olive. Those are in my fridge right now. They are delicious, but that's got to be the weirdest thing that's currently in the fridge.
God, that sounds so good.
You like olives?
Some.
Okay.
I think, let me put it this way. I think there's more shitty olives out there than there are good ones.
That's true, yeah.
But I would eat those.
I love olives. I feel like most people are either like way out on olives or way in.
Yeah, I will tell you this. I'm not going to go out of my way to eat it. But like if I was over at your house and you just like, hey, I got
try these.
This out, like I'd dip my foot in the water, you know.
See, come on over to the charcuterie side. I
refuse to do that. I love cheese and meat. It doesn't mean they got to be on some fancy board and make me feel like I have to have a fucking pipe in my mouth.
Look, there's few things that I enjoy more at this point in my life than like a charcuterie board and wine night. That's just where I'm at.
Oh God,
it's where I'm at. That's my error right now.
How dare you say that on a patio that's sponsored by Miller Lite?
Look, I said few things I enjoy more. One of them is being on the patio with an ice cold Miller Lite.
Well, I did see this. Speaking of charcuterie boards, I saw this one. Someone did a chili charcuterie board.
I think I've seen that too.
And I was like, you know what? That might be the only charcuterie board I might be fully in on. I am a chili fiend.
Are you saying charcuterie or charcuterie? It's charcuterie,
oh,
you heathen.
See how unsophisticated I am? Very uncultured of me.
Read a book.
I told you I've already read like 5 or 6 books in my entire life.
Charcuterie. God, I'm cutting this clip.
So I saw this chili one, and I would be in on that one.
Yeah.
Because I'm like this time of year, we either have leftover chili in the fridge or we're cooking a new batch.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
And chili, you can it's like chili's one of those things you can just add anything to, and that's what they had. They had everything I would add. Like I didn't even think about that going in chili, and I'm like, they had like Fritos on it, and like jalapenos, sour cream, cheese, like 4 different kinds of. I was like, I would be in on that, but like
the best thing to put on chili, chives.
Oh, yeah.
Chives are absolute fire. They add so much flavor to like anything you put them on. It's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, if I was building a charcuterie board,
thank you,
a chili one, chives, white onions, and purple onions would be options because those are different.
Yeah. Like
some people, I'm not like a big purple onion guy, so I would have to have the different, and then chives would be on there too for sure.
Are you a hot sauce person with chili?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
There would be probably 5 or 6 different hot sauce
because that's the different hot sauce types is important too.
Yeah, because if you don't if you want like a little kick to it, and you like add this one, but if you want to you want to sit on your toilet the whole next day, here's this one.
Yeah,
I want to give you the options.
You got to go Tabasco for the heat. You get a little Frank's for like not as much heat, a little flavor.
Yep.
Cholula gives you that different flavor profile.
Yeah, and maybe we even explore different hot sauces at Jungle Gyms.
Let's get weird.
Yeah, get real weird with it. It's a charcuterie board. Those are just weird in general as it is.
It's all about options on the charcuterie board. Balancing flavors. Cherry
jam and Gouda. I don't need that.
Yeah, you do need that. That sounds great.
God, I fucking hate charcuterie boards.
At least you learned how to pronounce it tonight. I'm proud of you.
Hey, you learn something every day.
That's right.
All right. So my question, maybe food was on my mind when I thought of this. This is the one we're going to go with because I've got a couple. I'll save the other one for next week. I think it'll be.
I've got a nice one for next week.
I think the one I had for next week is going to be way better for the four of us. What was the best dinner you ever had? And I'm not. Maybe it's like a mix of like what you had and the people you had it with, or maybe it was just the food. Like, but what was the best dinner you've ever had?
Oh man,
I have a tie for mine, but
that's incredible question. I wish I was more prepared, so I had time to go back through the catalog of dinners I've had. At non like Thanksgiving holiday, meal.
Yeah.
I'm not counting that because that's a different experience. I gotta say, so when we did a nice little tour to Europe a few years ago, we were in Rome. Didn't fully understand the customs of like, we're Americanized with like our when time to eat and what we're supposed to eat at certain times.
Yeah, every I found out every culture has like a different time for dinner.
Yeah, and so we got stuck out after exploring Rome and didn't really have a way to get back to it wasn't just like you called an Uber and got back at this point in time, right? It was like we wound up walking a ton and et cetera, et cetera. Well, we stumbled upon this restaurant on the way back to our place that was still open. And something I learned, maybe it was just this restaurant, so forgive me if I'm wrong about this, but Susie tried to order pasta, and apparently pasta is more of like a lunch food in Italy, not a dinner food. Didn't realize that, and it could have been this particular restaurant, but they actually had like the chef like whipped up pasta specifically for her because we were there and we were like the only people in the restaurant, and they could tell like we had no idea what we were doing and had no business being there. But we had like some awesome 4-course Italian meal, basically had a private restaurant to ourselves that night. The chef's just slinging out whatever he's got back there. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Amazing meal. Amazing.
So that's a pretty good choice. I mean, Rome and stuff.
Yeah, and it was in Rome. I mean, come on. Like, what am I?
Do you have like what would be like an honorable mention to that?
There's probably a time that I wish I could remember, but like there had to be a time where I was way too hammered and I got my hands on something that was like soul reviving. You know what I mean? Because I would love to put a story like that in here to answer this question, but I don't have one off the top of my head. But I know there's been a time I was down bad and I got my hands on something good that brought me back to life. Oh, that would be what my second choice would be if I could come, have something at the top of mind.
Oh, I mean, knowing the way you get when you drink, that would like 100%. Like, that would be 100% the truth. Like, yeah. I don't know what one it would be.
It would bring me so back.
It might have been like last year. I think you sent us a text like with White Castles one time when you were like,
it's possible.
anything involving White Castles after drinking.
This doesn't count, but I will say after I ran the half marathon at the Pig, when we got off and there was just like apples sitting there, I never in my life has anything tasted better than that apple did at that moment.
Just an apple.
That doesn't count as a meal, but like I'm telling you, it was what I needed.
But that's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be like the people you're with, like, or even the food. Like, it just could be like in the moment, like, oh my God, I needed this like so badly.
Yeah.
Like mine that I have are like a mix of both, like the dinner and like maybe the people I was with or person I was with. I guess I'll go ahead and say mine. So I've got like 3 that are honestly pretty much tied.
Okay.
So you went the better route, but mine's more like sentimental, I guess.
Yeah.
So the first one was the dinner for Gunt's birthday.
Oh,
it was. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
that's such an oversight on my part.
It was like the company, and then just the things that happened during that dinner were just off the chain. Like, I'll tell you this: that night, I took a picture of Gunt. That is it's legitimately my phone picture for him.
Yeah,
because he's sitting over by this light, leaning up against it in a sport coat and like dress pants, and I was like, man, that's really good lighting for a picture. He's like. And he just kept posing. I'm like, oh, I think he wants me to take a picture. So I took a picture of him, and that's my picture for her. And then I wanted like this really nice wine that I liked, and then they had like the more expensive version of it, and then we found out it was Carl Lindner.
I've never laughed so hard.
For the people that don't know who Carl Lindner is, well, he owns sports team. He owns UDF, like billionaire, And they're like, well, we usually save this for Carl Lindner. And I was just like,
you're like, let me get a look at it.
I'm like, hold on, let me see what it is. I saw the year on it, and I was like, that's like a $4,000 bottle of wine. That is definitely not what I want. Like, and people are just losing their mind. And then we have Nick passing out into his spaghetti. Like, It was just, that whole dinner was just like lost in the sauce from the very beginning. Like,
I don't mean to interrupt you, but now I thought of another one. The post-Stampede win dinner that me, you, and Gunth had at Shooters.
That was pretty off the chains, too, to be honest with you. It just, God.
Anyway, continue with
But
yours.
that was like, that's 1A, 1B. So the night I got engaged, we went to Montgomery Inn, and like Danielle had never had it. She came into town specifically just to come into town during the summer. She was in Texas. I was up here. She came into town. We went there. Now it's funny, like her parents had never had it. Like when they've come up now, that's the only place they want to eat. They love that place. Her grandparents have come up here. They love that place. So like that dinner, like introducing her to like a staple restaurant that, in the city we ended up living in. And then I went and got engaged to her later that night. That was a pretty special dinner. The Boathouse is like, look, not to take away from the original Montgomery Inn, because it does have that, like, this is the original one. The Boathouse is the best views by far. If you want to run into somebody, like any athlete or anything like that, if they're there, they're going to be at the Boathouse. They're probably not going to be at the original Montgomery Inn.
You're 100% right. And also, people like to kind of like look down upon Montgomery Inn. Get out of here. You know what?
Yeah, like, what is that about?
I will stand for Montgomery Inn.
Yeah, it's just because they don't have like the dress codes of like Jeff Ruby restaurants and stuff like that, it doesn't mean it's bad. Like, I like the fact that it's like, like I went to a Bengals game, I'm about to hop over and crush a whole rack of ribs. And by the way, the best, like, and I've heard this too, they're like not that good. I'm like, yeah, because, okay, first off, they're not smoked ribs. I think ribs are good smoked and not smoked. It doesn't take away from how good they are. Like, I like them.
So do I.
Like, have I had smoked ribs that I think are probably a little better? Yeah, but I think, like, the history behind them and everything, like they're really, really good. Like, people are crapping on Montgomery Inn nowadays. I don't understand the hate. I really don't.
I don't either. Sometimes places can just be what they are and they're fine, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
You don't have to be like, since it's not like
since it's not
newest
smoked.
fancy place or whatever.
Or they're not smoked or this or that. It's like, there is a ton of ways to cook food. Like, smoke's not the only way, just as baking them are not the only way. It's like, I don't understand the hate that Montgomery Inn's gotten over, like, the last 5 years. Like, with all of these new restaurants downtown for us, it's like, it's like nada and this, nothing, not take away from Pep and Dolores from my first story.
No.
I don't know. I think good food's good food. Like, you don't have to crap on another restaurant just because this restaurant. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like I love Jeff Ruby's and I love Montgomery Inn. Like, I don't know why you can't like both of them. But
all right, I just thought of another dinner since we're talking through this.
I told you this was going to stem a lot of conversation.
So after our wedding, we ended up closing down the Naughty Pine, which is like a local rock and roll former biker bar type place. Super fun. Anyway, Susie and I rolled through the McDonald's drive-thru at like 3 a.m.
Hell yeah.
In full, like she's in her wedding dress, I'm in my tux, everything. And I'm telling you that, for whatever reason that night, I got the buffalo chicken sandwich. And I never needed anything like I needed that buffalo chicken sandwich that night.
That's such an odd thing to
I
get
will
from
never
McDonald's.
forget that meal, ever. Oh, it was, that's the only time I've ever had that in my entire life.
Like, if I'm going to eat McDonald's drunk, like, it's either going to be just like the classic cheeseburger, or I'm going to get
1,000 nuggies.
that. So it's either classic cheeseburger, nuggets, or if I'm feeling like I really want to feel like shit in the morning, a Big Mac.
Yeah, I don't know why I did it, but I did.
Like, I don't know if I've ever had a chicken sandwich from McDonald's.
And it was amazing.
I bet it was. Oh, yeah. And just like you're doing it, like, you're driving through it, like, after your wedding, like in her wedding dress and your tux and stuff. Like, That should be like a McDonald's commercial.
It feels like one. Hit me up, McDonald's. We'll reenact it.
My third dinner that I thought of, I couldn't nail down the specific time, but we used to have like house dinners, like my junior year in college. We had a couple our like senior year, but like just because of those group of guys, like I grew up, like I lived with them and stuff like we all kind of lived together for a couple years. I'm sure that at some point there was like I couldn't even nail. Like I was sitting here thinking, I was like, there had to be a night where we had like our last dinner, like together, and we were like in the kitchen cooking. And you know, you're in college, our fucking kitchen was just disgusting. We're like, you know, we're making like 9 different things, but we always used to cook at like the same time. And I was like, I'm sure at some point there was like the last dinner we had together, but like I always enjoyed those. Like, and the funny thing is you know, it was in college because it'd be like hamburgers with no buns, like an egg, like and some rice, like that pouch rice that was fucking disgusting. Oh. Like I would never stoop to that level ever again, probably. But like just the most disgusting food. But when you're poor in college, like that's what you do. We used to have. Speaking of college, I guess this would be like an honorable mention for me. So like me, Danielle, now my wife, my friend John, who was my roommate for 3 years, and then Danielle's best friend Kelly. We used to have like Sunday night dinners in college.
Nice.
And like we'd do something different every time. Like I always enjoyed those. Like those are, and we're still friends with them and stuff like that. I thought those were pretty cool. But those were my 3, like 1A, 1B, 1C. And I think the most stories out of it has to be Pep and Dolores for Gunt's birthday last year.
I don't know the last time I've laughed as hard as I did that night.
I'll tell you this. My abs hurt after we got home. Like,
dude.
I woke up and I was like, oh my God. The next morning I was like telling Danielle, I was like, I'm just sore. And she's like, why? I'm like, I laughed nonstop. Like there was never a moment I wasn't laughing. Like I thought for sure they were going to come back in that room and kick us out. Like,
no, they needed us to hit the minimum. So,
I mean, it was just off the rails. Like from actually on the way to the restaurant, it got off the rails, and we never got back on them. Like, you know, we were taking pictures with the baby light in the back seat. Like, it just never got back on track, like ever. But it was, and then it was all capped by Nick passing out into his, what was that, like
his limoncello pasta.
Limoncello pasta. And then the worst part is, his wife is like, what, 9, like fully pregnant.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
She could go into labor at any point, essentially.
Yeah.
And he can't even stay awake at the dinner table.
Dude, I will seriously,
I had to call him out for that. He has to be accountable for that.
Yeah. but I swear to God, when they told you, well, we usually reserve that for Mr. Littner, and you said, well, let me see it. That's Hall of Fame Justin moment. I'm still laughing about that today. Oh my God.
God. Yeah, that was just, there's just so many. And then the picture I took at Gunt, like, just capped it off. Like, and you know what the funny thing was? Is how off the rails it was. I think I got home at like 10:30. Yeah. Like, it wasn't even that late of a night. It really wasn't. Like, I got home at a decent time.
Just
like,
pound for pound.
Like, pound for pound. Yeah. Pound for pound, hour for hour. Just unbelievable. Like,
Gunt's dirty 30.
I mean, if anybody's birthday was going to be like that, I would suspect it would be his.
Yeah.
Like,
for sure.
And poor Chandler, like his now fiance, just, I don't think she's that, like, and she's so sophisticated. Like, I love her to death, but she's very sophisticated. Like, I'm sure dinners like that with her friends do not go that way. Like,
probably not, but she's truly a pro's pro.
She is a pro's pro, and she is very understanding.
Oh, yeah.
Very understanding. So, shout out Chandler.
Shout out to Chandler, yes.
The Chanimal.
Oh, all right. That was a good one. Somehow we get on these topics sometimes, you know, and it's the food topic. That's a good one.
I think the food topic's a no-brainer. Like, there's so many ways to go about that.
Yeah.
And look, mine wasn't even one when I was drunk. You had a couple where you're like, oh, I just
knew there had to be an answer in there for that.
I mean, I'm sure I had a dinner at one point where it was like a dinner. I call it a dinner. It's like a 3 a.m. meal where it's like, I mean, I can tell you the one 3 a.m. meal I had or I was thinking I was going to have. Have I ever told you the story about how I ordered White Castles when I was up in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and they came to my house down here? And I was like, waiting in the hotel lobby after a company Christmas party. Me and another coworker were waiting she was like, where the hell are these fucking White Castles? I'm like, they show delivered. So we like look around. We're like looking out in the lobby. We're looking like out on the street. Like maybe they dropped them off at the front door. And then I'm giving up. I'm going to bed. Yeah. And we pull in the driveway the next afternoon. They're sitting on my front porch. So I tried to have a dinner like that. I needed it so bad. Like the food was like okay. Yeah. And I didn't really eat a lot for dinner. And then we like got into the party portion of it. And I was like, when I got back to it, I was like, I need food so bad. And I was like, oh, look, there's a White Castles in Fort Wayne, Indiana. By the way, there is no White Castles in Fort Wayne, Indiana if you're ever up there. So don't order it on DoorDash.
So it's actually the one in Westchester. Yep. Okay.
Oh, nice. God. Gunth, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, so right off the bat, the fiance Chandler, she was talked about well in the last podcast, the Chanimal, which she absolutely loved. You guys said that she was very sophisticated, a pro's pro. She really got a lot of joy out of that. So thank you.
She's a classy lady.
Class act.
She's class act. Loves to have a good time. Some would say Ferda. I think she's Ferda.
Yeah, for sure.
Undeniably.
I mean, she saw a guy fall into his pasta and didn't get mad at your birthday dinner. I think that's pretty Ferda.
About that.
It was good. Yeah, she's Ferda. But she helped me come up with my my Patio Beers question today. When you get married, before that, you got the bachelor or bachelorette parties. Here recently, a lot more bachelor and bachelorette parties have started taking their shows on the road. And so that's going to be mine today, is my bachelor party. Where should we have it?
Oh, we were hashing this out.
Oh, I love it.
Putting it on the record.
Yes.
Putting it on the podcast. This is early.
I've got my opinions.
Stages. We're in the planning stages.
Yeah. Can I go first?
Yeah, go ahead, please. I need input.
Well,
and by the way, ordained minister, Nick Gray, who will be marrying us.
Oh, my God.
There's two ordained ministers in here, and that offends me.
Sorry, pal.
Continue.
Sorry, bud. Okay, so Gunth and I have discussed this a little bit. It sounds like I know the front runner location. Selfishly, I'm going to go Nashville because I got married during the summer of 2020. Basically, yeah, right. Basically had
never happened.
Everything. Yeah, and it never happened. Had everything canceled. We were like, all right, we're not going. It's got to be Nashville for me.
That was my first thought because we never took your trip, and I was very much looking forward to that. Hottest take you'll ever see on here, never been to Nashville. This guy has never been to Nashville. So
Nashville thanks you.
I don't know if I'd ever survive Nashville, just like I didn't think I'd ever be able to survive Vegas. But knowing the time of year that we're going to take the trip, I think if anything outside of Florida would be a mistake, I would say Siesta Key.
Oh, buddy.
That's my choice. And the only reason is because like April, May in this area, even in Tennessee, like it could be iffy, man. Like the weather, it could be rainy, like
it could be 45 degrees, it could be 75 degrees.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's where I'm like, look, you go to Florida in April, May, like it's going to be fucking warm, regardless of it's going to be warm. Like, and I have winter blues, man. This trip is going to be what busts me out of those winter blues, and that's what I'm going to be counting on the entire winter. So I say anything outside of Florida, specifically south of Orlando, is going to be a mistake if it's north of Orlando. So
that was strong.
And people sleep on that Allegiant flight to Sarasota.
Yeah.
People sleep on that. That's a solid option.
Yes, hey, cheap flights. That's, that too.
Yeah. 2 hours versus like 4.5.
Yeah, and you're not driving.
Yeah.
Milk a hangover a little better.
All right.
I think I'm fully behind what Justin's putting down here. I if anything come out of this wedding, it needs to be that I get the beach gunth experience.
Yeah.
I think this might be the only opportunity
I've never gotten it either.
in our lives for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Unless, future, whatever,
Kids.
couples, kids, trip situations aside. I need to see Summer Gunth in his full glory. Playlist dialed, the Nooners, the Miller Lights,
Just
everything on
flowing.
the beach, flowing.
Patio's beer hat.
Patio Beers hat in its full glory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's my front runner. And it could be it doesn't necessarily have to be Florida. I know you're a big Carolinas-man.
Yeah, a little chilly that time of year,
Carolinas,
though.
man.
It can be chilly in the Carolinas. Now, I love this, and I love the idea of you guys getting to meet Beach Gunth. He is
Fantastic.
one of my favorite people.
Top 3 Gunth.
He's one of my top 3 Gunths.
Outside of summer guns.
Summer Gunth is
R.I.P.
A1. May he rest in peace.
Yeah.
But I thought I'd bring you guys along for, some of the decision making, and we're not going to nail anything down today, but I think it is good to talk about. We've had some ideas, and I would love, just quick input because I feel like I'm taking too long with this patio question here, but
Time doesn't exist on the patio.
Chicago, it's a great city. It's a great city. We do a Cubs rooftop.
It's gonna be cold.
It could be cold. It could be cold.
Could be
That's the
cold.
issue. Another idea that has been thrown around. I believe there's a golf tournament down in Charlotte at some point. Is to go down to a golf tournament. I forget what it is off the top of my head.
I'm gonna
My buddy
guess-
Ross, tell me. That's going to be down.
What's the schedule looking like here?
That's is it in May or June?
April,
The Wells
May.
Fargo?
I think it's in
It's
May.
the Wells Fargo. It's in early May.
Yeah, it's in
God.
Charlotte.
All right.
By the way, low key, Charlotte is a fantastic town, but I do not like how they call themselves the Queen City because there's one Queen
Yeah,
City.
we don't like that either.
But there's
we don't
one
like
Queen
that.
City, and that's Cincinnati.
Look, if we're gonna while we're just throwing stuff against the wall here,
Spitballing.
if we're talking golf tournaments, Super Bowl weekend,
No,
Waste Management,
that's too much.
Phoenix
That-
Open.
That's
No
too
one
much.
would come out of that. The people that
we would
are
all-
married would be divorced, and then the engaged person would be no longer engaged.
All right.
We
Here we
would
go.
come out of that scathed.
It's very scary.
It would hurt.
Very scary.
It would
We got the Wells Fargo at Quail Hollow, May 9th through the 12th.
Whew.
So that could be cool. And
Look.
that was just another idea. Just another idea.
I used to-
Or we just go to Louisville the following weekend for the PGA at Valhalla.
I already got tickets to that.
So that's the thing is, do you want to be locked into a sporting event all day?
Yeah,
Which
I
brings me to
mean,
my
seems
next point.
less than ideal.
Which brings me to my next point.
Go
March is between now and then.
the madness.
Vegas.
The madness. Do we? I've looked up the cities.
Pick a locale.
I believe it's Indianapolis is an option. Great town.
I thought you were thinking Vegas there. Sorry.
Philadelphia.
Broad Ripple.
Philadelphia. I love Broad Ripple in Indianapolis.
We know you do.
Great town. Philadelphia is another option. Haven't been to Philly before. I believe Charlotte is also one of those locations.
Oh, not the Queen
Spokane.
Go Zags.
But no, I mean that could be a cool thing. That could be a cool thing. Go do some March Madness and
Yeah,
get some session
yeah,
tickets. And so hey, that's it, it's just a discussion, and that's
Yeah.
what the patio is all about.
Well, the funny thing is, I just talked. So, two guys playing in the tournament this weekend, Brody Tice and Jamie Luss. They did a trip to Columbus last year for the NCAA tournament, and it just so happened they went to where Purdue lost as a 1 seed, and then FAU had their run, like the start of their run.
Yeah.
They were at that, and then Michigan State, I believe, was also in Columbus for their first and second round game. He was like, "Look, we do it every year." He told me, he's like, "We do it every year. Like we pick a spot. Like it's usually like Louisville, Indianapolis,
Drive
Columbus,
ball.
yeah." And they go do a first and second round game, and he's like, "It's fantastic." Yeah, he's like, we do it every year. I mean, come on.
If we're talking drivable destinations, maybe we're trying to be a little budget conscious. I mean, I feel like pound for pound, Lexington definitely punches above its weight.
Yes.
Good golf in the area.
Over there.
Stagger in.
Stagger out.
A Gunther staple.
It is a
Stagger in,
staple.
stagger out.
Buddy, you can't beat staggering. That's
I mean,
Look, and then
But
you're going to be
at that point, we're also talking weather. Like,
Yeah, my whole point with my pick was like I think it's
agree.
my winter blues is well documented amongst all four of us here.
Seasonal affective disorder.
At that point, I'm just going to be. I'm going to be one step from a bridge and one step from a golf course, and I could step either way. And I think going to Florida would help me out of that.
I think we'd all appreciate if you step towards the golf.
Yeah, I've done it every year for 33 years.
Yeah.
34, year 34. Where am I going to go? Am I going to be in Florida for your bachelor party, or where am I going to be?
Full send, New Orleans.
Oh my God, that would be fantastic,
Buddy.
But I think the NCAA route. I'm just full disclosure is, and it's something that you can actually leave because you have multiple tickets to games. So like if you watch,
that's what's good about a golf tournament too, right?
Yeah, but you can't come back in though. I don't think.
No, but it's like a one-day thing.
That's
right?
it.
Yeah, but like,
do you try to do like a hospitality tent? Do you try to do something like that?
But with the NCAA tournament though, like if you go to like just to say like you go to Indianapolis, right? 1 versus 16, it's 30-point game. You're like, hey guys, let's head out at halftime. Go grab something to eat, and you can come back in with your other ticket to watch the next game. So there's some flexibility to that, I don't know.
Yeah.
And every state around us now has legalized gambling. Kentucky was the last one. So even if you were in Kentucky, you'll be able to be there, bet on the games.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your input, gentlemen. I appreciate that.
No, you know what? Thank you for asking.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
As his ordained minister, I also thank you.
Yeah. And also with you.
Just a full disclosure. So Nick never had a bachelor party. I barely had one.
I barely. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This can
be all of ours. I'll give it. I'll
in that
allow
case,
this.
yeah, let's just send it.
Yeah. Because I got married at 23. No, I got married at 22. So we didn't have much money. Like we weren't like, hey, let's go to Florida.
Mexico it is.
Yeah.
So you just got married young. You didn't have a worldwide pandemic.
No.
Okay.
But, I mean, I had no money. So
Amsterdam.
I mean, the Scotland golf trip would not be against. I mean, I would be look because I could just go to Danielle and be like, I mean, it's Colin's bachelor party. I kind of have to be there. Like, I know you can't come, but I kind of have to be there. I thought when you said the NCAA thing, I thought you were full going on the Vegas trip. But by the way, I do have $4,000 in MGM gift cards. We could have a blasphemous of a time in fucking
Vegas.
Vegas.
You just said, but sure.
Blasphemous.
Yeah, that was.
It doesn't even have a word. It'd be so much fun. Penthouse. We could do the whole. Like the Wolf of Wall Street bachelor party. Just take it.
Please no.
I have something to show you.
All right, Nick, what do you got for the
Yeah, my God. How do you follow that up? It's fine.
We should have let you go.
Yeah, seriously.
It's fine.
This is, I don't even want to ask my question at this point.
All questions are treated equally.
No,
Yes.
it's fine. I mean,
It's a safe
dude,
space.
it's Thanksgiving week. Best Thanksgiving food.
Yes, this was, you know what? This
Solid.
question was
That's a good
necessary.
question.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing this
Good
one.
arguments. There'll be some good stuff here.
Yeah.
We'll go this way. I mean, dude, I'm a noted turkey guy. Just an absolute noted turkey
Wrong.
guy.
Turkey might be the worst part of Thanksgiving.
is! You freak.
I'm such a turkey guy. I'm going over to my brother's for Thanksgiving. They said they had one turkey. I bought another turkey to cook on Wednesday. Turkey.
Okay, I'm going to stop.
bought another
Listen to me.
turkey. I bought another turkey to cook, so we made sure we had enough turkey for everyone.
I'm going to stop you right here because of the charcuterie thing.
Yeah.
You don't know anything about food. And I don't even like charcuterie.
That's tough. Dude, okay, at least can we break this down?
Mashed
a little?
potatoes is my second one.
Oh, my God.
Miller White's my third.
What
I'll accept that.
white meat, dark meat?
I'm not biased against
Equal
my
opportunity turkey
Yeah,
eater?
I'm an
Okay.
equal opportunity turkey eater. So
Man, this brought the energy down bad. That's such a bad take.
sorry, I'm a traditionalist.
No, the only answer is
What the
stuffing.
Indians and Pilgrims ate. So
Stuffing, dressing, whatever you want to call it. That's the answer. Throw a little gravy on there if you're feeling saucy.
for the Southerners out there, it's called dressing.
I said stuffing, dressing.
Oh, I thought
whatever,
you said
know,
stuffing.
Whatever you
I thought
go.
you said
I said
stuffing.
both. But,
Sorry. Yeah, dressing. I got filleted for that the first wedding or the first Thanksgiving I went to in Texas. I was like, oh, stuffing. They were like, the fuck is stuffing? I was like, they're like, this is dressing. I was like, oh shit, my bad.
Yeah.
Like, that's a good choice.
I'll pre-apologize if they are two different things, but I think they're the same.
I don't think they are. I think
two
they
different
are.
monikers. So that's my answer for sure.
I think you touched on it very, very briefly. I think adding gravy to just the entire plate
Yes.
it's a pro move.
That is a that's a pro's pro.
I'm not your maid.
That's a pro's pro.
It is
by
a
the way.
pro's move.
I put gravy on everything. I know I said turkey, but I put it on
I just destroy my entire life with gravy.
mac and cheese, like anything.
Yes. But I am also a stuffing / dressing guy. Marianne Gunther, the literal goat, my grandmother, 91 years old, still doing it. She knows my affinity. She made it a couple years ago. I absolutely love it. And so now she makes it every year. She makes oyster dressing.
Oh.
Throw some oysters in there.
Seafood gunth. You cannot be stopped.
Feed gun.
I mean, it makes so much sense. You're marrying a girl from Massachusetts. I'm just going to say it.
It's the best. And so she makes that, and that's always special. But the stuffing / dressing, that's my choice.
We got some stuffing, boys.
Yeah.
I could eat an entire, and this is white trash of me, I don't care, an entire box of stovetop dressing.
Yeah.
Just like F me up with that. But also, deviled eggs.
Oh, hell yeah. Hey, give me some of that.
Buddy, that's
Let's go.
See, okay,
I tend to snack myself to death on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And deviled eggs is part of that snacking process. And I kill myself with that. I kill myself with that.
I associate deviled eggs more with Easter.
Oh, really? No.
Yeah, I do too. Well,
both.
eggs,
But
yeah.
I mean, deviled eggs
Makes
are not
sense.
ever bad.
But yeah,
I mean,
it is like a Midwestern holiday.
Yeah, it's just like,
There's like
it's like
deviled
every
eggs.
it's
It'll be
every
right.
holiday. Yeah. I mean, deviled eggs are. I mean, they're good any time of year.
Dude, my mom. I don't know how you. I don't know how you.
I've seen
shout
a way
out
to
to
make them like
Yeah,
5
there's
or
like-
6 different. You can put some like
Well,
relish.
no,
in
my
it,
mom
like-
doesn't. I don't think my mom does any of that. She might. I don't know. Sprinkles paprika on
Yeah,
them, you know.
if you,
Yeah,
like,
that's
not
a
putting the
given.
paprika on, get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've
See ya.
seen some with like some relish in it.
Rhonda knows
like,
best.
She
what?
does.
Rhonda. Oh yeah,
Rhonda knows
Rhonda
best.
does.
Shout out.
So since we were on the gravy talk, have you ever had giblet gravy?
No.
Has little chunks in it, yeah. It's
Yeah, so you make it from the giblets in the turkey.
Sounds foul.
That is I thought the same thing, but that is a Texas thing too. And like I went there first Thanksgiving, they're like, "This is giblet gravy." I'm like, I don't know what a giblet is, but I do know what gravy is. And they're like, "Well, just try it." So I tried it. I was like, "Okay, I'm in." But you make it from the giblets inside. You know, they pack everything inside.
Bet you do.
Pretty fantastic, but it's not though. You're literally like, I think what it is it's a country thing. I don't think it's a Texas thing. I think it's just like, hey, we're going to use everything of the turkey to make stuff. You know, like nothing goes to waste. Yeah. But giblet gravy is pretty good too. But I am a stuffing person. I didn't want to go with stuffing though, and I'm thinking some flack here for the turkey. I get it. But Danielle makes her own
It's a reason
stuff.
for the season.
Danielle makes her own dressing from scratch, and it's by the way, the only thing that can be heated up, because a lot of Thanksgiving stuff cannot be heated up, and it's not good heated up. Dressing carries. And the heated up
Dressing,
process.
mac and cheese, corn,
Green bean casserole.
green bean casserole, yams, turkey. Pretty much all that can be pretty good.
did you-
reheated.
I got
Sorry,
greens, beans,
sorry.
tomatoes.
Did you
right
see
there.
the guy that made Thanksgiving sushi? So he took the skin off the turkey and then wrapped it with mashed potatoes.
We're good. We're good.
Jesus.
It looked pretty good to me, but
I think in general with Thanksgiving, the thing is like the sides are the star of the show, right?
I mean they make the dinner
100%.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, I know it can be trashy, but like any form of the cranberry situation, I'm here for it. I don't even care.
All right.
Just give me the can.
Even if you dump the can out and you cut it in slices, like I'm here for
the sound that it makes when it slides out of the can. I'm here for that. Yeah.
I mean, you might get.
Am I the only
cancer
person
from
here
it,
that doesn't eat the cranberry stuff?
I mean, I don't typically. Yeah, I don't typically eat it.
But I always make. I eat it every single year, and I always make sure to cut
The
with
full
the
slice.
lines.
Yeah.
I cut with the lines that the can leaves indented into it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the best.
I mean, you know what got left off of this? Out of all this, mac and cheese. Like, I feel like mac and cheese is a pretty big staple for at least Midwest Thanksgivings.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but
because I went to Texas, I didn't have any mac and cheese, but like up here, I know. I mean, I love
the thing with mac and cheese is like I'll eat that. You know, it's like a
any day of the
situation.
week. Yeah, I mean
Tuesday and October.
Yeah, right.
Once a year.
The thing with mac and cheese is that it's just it. And I think we're all right now discussing the baked mac and cheese. And
I mean,
and that's solid. Yeah, it's the baked mac and cheese, and that's
that's good.
That's high level. But pretty much all mac and cheese. I've never had a
bad
that's bad
I've
mac
never
and cheese.
eaten mac and cheese and been like,
obviously
I don't think so.
the baked mac and cheese is far superior.
Nice.
I like it. God, I'm hungry now.
All right, you're up.
All right. So, I know we're going to have the same answer to this, so it's fine.
This pleases me.
If you could be part of any fictional crew from a television show, who would it be?
Okay, well, I'm going to answer that for both of you. Entourage.
Yeah. I mean, but I have a very, very close second.
All right, hold on.
What's the saying here? I mean, obviously,
So,
Entourage is solid.
Do you want to go, Mitch? Do you know who you...
I don't particularly have an answer to this. TV specifically?
I mean, or series, or heck, it could be even movie. I don't care.
Fictional?
Yeah, fictional. Yeah, just a fictional crew, like a crew of friends that you would want to be a part of. I have a very, very close second to Entourage.
Go ahead, because I'm.
So my very close second would be Seinfeld.
Oh,
I mean, Jerry plays the bad friend, and I know it kind of comes off with that name. We know Jerry, but Jerry's a good friend. I mean, I think if I had to pick one right behind them, like very close, Parks and Rec would be. I mean, Ron plays a hard shell, but Ron's a good friend, and I think just having him around in general would be great. I think that would be one that would be right behind those two. But Entourage, you got Vinny, you got Turtle. Turtle was on a golf podcast this year, which was fantastic.
He was very. He
was on Subpar, unbelievable. Apparently, someone sold their Fukijamas, which is just insane to me. But I think I already know who it was. But like Turtle, Vince, Drama, Ari, just top-notch guys across the board. Boys, men's men. Look, there's no one better than them. But those are my three that I kind of they were pretty close. If I had one more, it'd be How I Met Your Mother.
You have so many answers for
this. It would be How I Met Your Mother.
I have one. And I've watched, I don't know, I would say 3.5 episodes of this show, but I just know this is the right answer. It's Always Sunny.
Oh, yeah. That would be a pretty good one, too. I didn't even think about that one. That's a really good one.
Or The League.
Oh,
you know what? I think that's my answer, because thank you for giving me an answer. My problem is all the shows that I like it's kind of like a shitty situation, or you know what I mean? Like, I love Mad Men. I don't want to be a part of any of those groups. I love The Office. I don't want to work in that office. So you don't want to be part of. You might be the only man that doesn't want to be
a paper salesman.
No. Okay. Mad Men,
but I mean that's like.
Mad Men.
Dude, I mean, one of the guys kills himself in the
okay. You pick out the worst part of the whole show.
Roger Sterling's a goat, so I mean,
that goes without saying.
But I don't know. They all seem kind of like sad, flawed people. I don't necessarily.
Who isn't sad, flawed people? I just talked about seasonal depression.
I know.
4 times in this episode.
You get what I'm saying. I think The League is a great answer because I mean, honestly,
it is.
We live a version of that life.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So. Yeah, I think that's the one I could slide into the easiest and feel like I belong, probably.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, I think very obviously Entourage is without a doubt, that's the answer. Just those guys.
When someone says there's no wrong answers, there are wrong answers, and all the other answers are wrong other than Entourage.
Correct.
Can I raise my hand and answer? I have another one. Ted Lasso.
That would be a pretty good one, too.
I want to be a part of AFC Richmond.
Hey,
Yeah.
Richmond till I
Diamond
die, baby.
Yeah,
Diamond Dogs would be top notch.
Yeah,
too.
exactly. That's what I need.
Yeah, top. I've always wanted to be a Diamond Dog.
It's so PVO. Yeah, I'm in on. That's where I want to be Richmond till I die, baby.
Yeah. My first initial thought when I thought of this, and we can take all the conspiracy theories and everything out of this,
I love where this is going.
the Lost Boys. If you're familiar with the movie Hook,
Yeah.
I mean, dude, does anybody have more fun than
No.
Rufio and the boys?
Hey, I mean, you're not wrong.
Hey, you know what else would be electric? Now you got me thinking about
Yeah.
it. You said Rufio, which made me think of Roofie, which made me think of The Hangover.
Oh, Hangover.
Oh my God, yeah.
Now it's a
Hangover would be
movie,
pretty
honestly.
good.
Now we've gone
No,
full
fiction.
circle with the bachelor party.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. Hey, that would be pretty good. I always thought of myself as Alan sitting against the car. I fudged up, guys.
Yeah.
You are Alan.
Yeah.
But then, and so I have one more honorable mention, and it's John Beckwith and Jeremy Gray.
Obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Those two from Wedding Crashers.
Yeah, if you can implant yourself in there.
Seamus O'Toole.
Yeah.
There's a
Bobby
tricycle
Flay,
instead of a bicycle. Yeah, that'd be
I'm ready to
pretty
get
good.
drunk.
That's pretty solid. And then, you throw in Will Ferrell's character. I can't
what
think
is
of
his
his name
name?
off the top of my head,
What
which
is it?
kills me that I can't think of his.
What is it? What is his
Hold
name?
on.
Yeah.
Wow. This is
It
bad.
kills me that I can't think of his character's
This is
name.
bad.
Who is a kook?
Is it Chad?
Yeah.
Chaz Reinhold.
Chad.
Reinhold.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean,
Chance
that's
crashing parties or funerals now.
funerals now.
He's cleaning
I
up.
mean, he's on to something because he's absolutely. Yeah. So obviously Entourage, and then you go with, for me, the Lost Boys seem like they always have a good time, and then the Wedding Crashers.
I think for me, and I know Entourage is the easy answer for us, but like the people they hang out with, like they're hanging out with, hey, R.I.P. Bob Saget, Tom Brady's in there. Like, as much as I hate Tom Brady, seems like a great hang. They've got all these stars they're hanging out with, would be fantastic. They go to the U2 concert, and then drama gets, like, it would just be,
shout out.
Ari too would just be,
Young Kanye in there too, right?
yeah,
Young
Kanye.
Kanye, yeah,
they
they'd
fly
ride
to
his
France
plane.
with Kanye.
Yeah.
Just like the people they hang out with, I think would be, and I think everybody look, I think we all live with like guys at one point, like roommates and stuff like that. Like, it's dirty, it's messy, it's gross, but like sometimes you're like, man, I'd like to go back and live in that grimy house with some dudes, like fucking party it up. Like I'd be down for that. It kind of takes you back to that, but they do it till they're like 30,
Plus, yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah. Mitch,
All right.
bring us home.
Yeah,
here.
Mitch.
yeah.
So, again, shout out Susie. She gives me most of my questions at this point. Save this one especially for this podcast because I needed the full four-man answer here. Everyone has to answer this separately. If you came with a warning label, what would it be?
Oh my God.
All right, Nick's already
Yeah,
got
go
it.
for it. I
Drunk.
gotta think of mine.
That's it. Just like put it on the back of my shirt. It's fine.
Easy.
Yeah. There's no explanation needed there.
You want to go or you want me to go?
I'll go.
No, you go first because I can't wait for yours.
I think mine is definitely. I do also like to indulge. Very similar.
like one word.
No, I think
No,
you can just,
I think it's like a saying.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
Like
Like
a Surgeon
warning.
General's warning.
Yeah.
warning,
Yeah.
keep out of reach of children.
Okay.
Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
I am.
Oh, I
that
hope.
went to a dark
Hey,
place.
honestly, that should be yours.
I am. My warning and the thing I hate the most about myself. It's becoming a therapy session.
Jeez.
Is I am the worst hungover person in the world. There's no worse hungover
you are
person
pretty bad at hungover.
in the world than me. I mean, we go back to the Yingling Open when Mitch talked me into throwing up on a golf course.
Oh, baby.
I do remember that. Oh my God, I remember that.
It was awful. I mean, I could barely walk. I was so
Was that the one at Glenview?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably my warning. That would be my warning sign, because I don't think there's, and again, maybe I'm not self-aware at all, but I don't think there's many other like, hey, you better watch out for this with Gunth. But I am the world's worst
Like
hungover
huge
person.
flaws. Yeah, no.
Yeah. And I don't think you being drunk is a huge flaw. It's fun.
I just like to do it. Yeah.
So yours would be like warning hungover.
Warning, don't give him too much, because tomorrow's going to suck.
Yeah.
If you're around him.
All right, go ahead, Mitch. I'm still hashing mine out here.
You guys can give me feedback, because I think this is pretty specific to like if you were in a relationship with me, specifically if you're married to me. It will get done, but it will be on his terms. Would be my warning label.
That's fair.
That might be every married dude
I
in
know,
America.
but the problem, like, and you guys are with me more than anybody. Like, you know how it is. I'm a last minute person. I will take everything up until the final moments of when it needs to be done.
All right, so
I will do it, and it will be good. It will work out. But you might be frustrated along the way because I'm gonna take.
So
as much
this
of these
doesn't
as I
have anything to do with like getting things done, but like being places on time, because
can. That's a tough scene. Look,
I've
and it's
known you and
only-
Susie forever,
Yeah,
and it's just both of you telling me opposite sides of the story.
Oh,
It's the
my other warning label thing could be like, "Will be late, but it's not his fault."
yeah, yes,
Yeah.
that is for all you listeners out there. That is the better answer.
Yeah, it's something along those lines for sure. And it's, every kid that we add, it gets worse. We're later and later, for sure.
You boys, what do you mean? You're like, if anybody has an excuse to be late, it's me. I have 4 girls in my house. That's
What can I
insane.
say?
All right, I've come up with mine. And I'm going to give you the reasoning, and then I'm going to tell you what my warning label is. Every night that I've had that has ended, I don't want to say poorly, but has ended with me being deathly sick in the morning, or just a shithead, or, I mean, that's pretty much every day, but to another level of shitheadness, it all begins and ends with liquor. Like, I mean, like, I can drink beer and be very level, like, not level-headed. Like, I get to the point where I'm like, all right, hey,
You're
like,
drunk.
pump the brakes. Like, okay, you know, but not, like, uncontrollable. When I become uncontrollable, it all begins and ends with liquor. Whether that's tequila, which is becoming one of my favorites, Fireball, peanut butter whiskey. Like,
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
that happened.
you know, like, every night, whatever golf outing that ends in just me getting in trouble or whatever it might be, it begins and ends when I start taking shots. Like, I can sit here and drink Miller Lite all day and not be a shithead. Like, I might be a little egregious, but not a shithead. So my warning label would be, warning, keep out of reach of liquor.
Fair. All right, do we take this a step farther? Should we start flaming each other?
Yeah, I think we should start
my
criticizing.
God.
So
Is this the Festivus episode, the airing of grievances?
Or, yeah, we're just
I'm
going
going to start because I've just ended mine. Your warning label should be,
He's pointing at Mitch.
yeah, bitch. Your warning label should be, warning, turns into bitch quickly.
Oh. Yeah, look, I'll admit that too. Look, even yesterday, speaking of hangovers, I was pretty hungover yesterday. My birthday was yesterday. I was, all day long yesterday, I was trying to get out of us playing golf and doing anything today outside of recording this podcast.
You were.
You were doing it this morning.
Yeah, even this morning, I was still trying to.
I was full on for golfing this morning.
That was a separate text. Okay,
Yeah.
you guys didn't see that.
Okay.
So that's fair. I will welcome that. That's for sure. All right, who else? Is this like hot potato? Do I have
Yeah,
to-
no,
I have to-
no.
Yeah, all right,
hold on,
yeah,
hold on.
hey, hold
I'm
on.
going to Nick
All right,
next.
hey, can we keep it PG here?
Yes.
Because I know that I'm going to get roasted.
Okay. Nick's
Oh, you got the ball and
Yeah.
you're just shooting right now. Okay.
warning, keep out of Naughty Pine.
No, I was gonna say. I would say.
White Oak.
Yeah, will not leave White Oak. That's his warning label.
Oh, okay. I can
Will not leave
That's
White
fine.
Oak.
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah.
Guns would, it's hard because I I don't want to flame my partner too bad. But then also,
finish him.
Warning, sometimes pants are too tight.
Hey, he's a built boy.
I just remember your pants on your birthday. Dude, those things were like one notch from just fucking busting open. I mean, those things were so fucking close to just popping open. Which, by the way, the night that I got the best picture of you, as mentioned last week, that is the picture in my phone for you. So
I think for Gunth, it's cares deeply ... about UC athletics.
It can ruin a day. It can ruin a
It
day.
can.
For you.
No.
all right, now that you're on it, move to
No,
Nick
I've been
next.
around
got
him
Nick.
too many
Okay.
times for UC losses. It
Yeah,
does not
it doesn't
ruin a day.
ruin.
No, it's not that. It's the you also have to be okay with spending an entire day devoted to a UC football game.
Yeah.
Like tailgate Gunth is a scene, and you have to be here
It's
for
awesome.
that scene.
And again, shout out to Chandler Morrison.
Exactly.
Just
Yep.
a saint for dealing with that.
That's fair.
I'm not flaming anybody. I have no.
Look at this guy.
Hey,
He's like
I am above
he knows
it.
he
Hey,
can't.
I'm
no.
just kidding.
not a
I'm
glass-
not above it.
I'm not a glass house. I'll take bullets. Come on,
No.
Mitch. Let's hear yours for me.
Well, one, we already talked about it today. You contribute nothing to the agenda on a weekly basis. That remains
all.
infuriating. I still don't know if this podcast is getting recorded. I'm just blindly trusting it. You know what? I think, and this is very, very specific, but Nick and I were talking about this today. You have good golfer privilege. So on the 9th hole today, we were shocked by the shot that you guys picked to take on
Yeah, you took your guys' over the green.
Yeah.
the downhill one from like the tricky spot, whatever, where we were like, dude, they were like 30 yards away in the fairway. Like, I feel like getting up and down
Uphill
was a better
pitch
chance
shot.
from there.
Yeah,
And then, no
yeah,
offense to
exactly.
you,
Hey, and then he shakes his head.
that was a very tough shot. And you had a result that I think would be expected for most golfers, where it was like, okay, you hit an okay one, but it was still like you had like a downhill, like
He picked it.
I know, but see,
You
Did
said
he?
it, you said
my
it.
God.
You said
Controversy.
hey, you said it was like it's about 15
A third of the distance.
yeah, third of the distance, and I said okay.
okay.
Like,
Don't put it all on me. Though.
no, I know,
You also-
but no, we hit a good putt up.
But
there.
I've
I mean,
also
like-
played in scrambles with you where it's like, okay, you want to take the bunker shot where that's an easy shot for you. For the other three of us, there's like a 50% chance we don't get out of the bunker.
warning. Good golfer privilege. Wow,
Yeah.
that's my warning. Oh.
Yeah, I think sometimes you see through the
Well,
game.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
You asked for it, so I
I
had to give
know.
you
I
it.
like it. I'm good with it. I do. I will admit, like I when we play in scrambles and stuff, I'm like, yeah, I'll like this is closer. I'd rather take this, and like it might not be the easiest shot for every, but I do think I'm getting better at it because I play with worse golfers in scrambles. I'm like, oh, okay, this 10-yard flop shot might not be.
But
Like
also,
I'm talking like 18 handicappers. Like
look, in your defense, you also pulled it off
Yeah,
massively
right.
today. Like
Yeah.
you had a
Hit it to,
was
like,
a
2
gimme.
feet.
So
yeah, but like I
That they made me putt. That they made me putt.
it was for the win.
All right.
But I'm just saying, like, I've gotten better at it, though, because, like, I've played in scrambles with, like, 18 handicaps, and, like, all right, are they going to be able to hit this pitch shot? We should probably go back into, like, the rough where they can fluff it up and, like, hit this shot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've gotten better at it. But I was really bad at it because you remember the Turkey Open at Whitewater. We took that bunker shot, and Kyle was like, there's no one going to get it within 10 feet, and I made it. I think that made me really bad at it.
Yeah, that definitely fed your ego for sure. I forgot that happened. Wow.
Yeah, I hold it out after he's like, no one's going to get this one in 10 feet.
Yeah, that was funny. Anyway, that's a good topic. Nice cathartic.
All right. Wait, I got one for Justin,
Oh, God.
and it's just between he and I. Will take a shot with your wife before he does with you, because
That's fair.
he and my wife Rachel
My wife.
are a problem.
Yes.
Yeah,
they
we get
are.
together.
A problem.
Yep.
We're like, it's like gasoline pouring on a burning fire that needs to be
Yeah,
put
to
out.
like two long lost siblings that found each other, and it's just bad.
It is. That night that we went down the Cheviot and started taking shots together got me in trouble. I'm sure it got her in trouble. It was, we do not need to be taking shots together. That's for sure. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Back 9 Six-Pack. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Back 9 Six-Pack for all your content needs. We'll see you guys next week. Cheers.